Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Third Down Thursdays. My name is MJ, and I'm joined this evening by a very special guest host. Bruce has some very important things to do this evening. Can't really tell you what they are, but they're important and they're cool. And so Chris is joining us this evening from the far north to wallow in some sadness with me. Probably talk about some hockey and who knows what else is going to happen in the next hour. So, Chris, thank you for joining us on such short notice. How are you doing, sir?
MJ, what's up, my man? I'm glad to get the tap in for Third Down Thursdays and make my debut for the OG, Coach Bruce,
Yes.
who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but I'm excited.
Yes, sir. You got any? You got a beer by you or anything? You're generally a beer guy.
I'm a big beer guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
A little PBR.
There we go.
I
got my.
Not a Paps guy, Zach. Producer Zach, not a Paps guy.
I've turned into a craft beer snob. It's probably the worst thing about me, but it's also just because it's more expensive than anything else.
Yeah.
I love that Zach is already roasting him.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of that over the next hour.
Yes. So the first thing I can't talk about anything else. And until we talk about this. That's how all Packers fans should feel right now. And like you can ask my wife, you can ask my father. I did not expect the Green Bay Packers to win that football game. I had zero faith in them after they lost to the Giants in Week 5 in London, is when I lost my faith in that football team. Does that mean that as a fan, I didn't get excited and I didn't lose my mind during that football game? No. I still wanted them to win that football game. But did I think they would? No. So it's just, there are so many things that we'll get into. But Chris, give me your initial reactions.
I can't believe they once sat at 4-8, gave us all hope, won 4 in a row, came into the last week against that Detroit Lions team and found a way to puke away the season. I'll admit I was one of the select Packers fans who had hope. I thought they figured out something on the offensive side of the ball. The running game got a little better. The defense was forcing turnovers. And then on Sunday night, they reverted to kind of the old ways of the season. That's just killed them all year long. So,
and here's what makes me sad, Chris. And I talked to some folks at work about this, so I like my sports guys at work. And so I'm sure you'll probably agree with me on this. You know, I've watched every final game of the season in Aaron Rodgers' career. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of talk soon, and there already is, about Aaron Rodgers' future. But, Chris, when I just watched how he handled not just the final press conference, because I'll get to that in a second, but just walking off the field, I've never seen him look around the field like that, like he did last Sunday night. Now, there's a chance that was because he knew he played his last game with Randall Cobb, but that's a lot of sentimental, and that's a lot of nostalgia that we saw in his face for just Randall Cobb. So I don't know if I don't know if I just can't wrap my head around him acting the way he did just because Randall Cobb was leaving.
No, to me, it just looked like a guy who's taking it all in, right? End of year 18, probably knows that that's his last game at Lambeau if he chooses to walk away in the offseason or if the Packers go in a different direction. Look like one last look at the fans and he'll walk off the field. No, I couldn't agree more.
And the other reason is I've been in the majority of the Packers press conference for the last 3 years, and I have never seen Aaron Rodgers act the way he did on Sunday night in that press conference. And it was just, even from the first question Matt Schneidman asked him, he just wasn't, it didn't sound like a guy who was going to be back.
No.
And then the final question from Mike Spofford, hey, if this is going to be your last game, what are you going to miss? Rodgers pauses, takes a big swig from his tiny water bottle.
Yep.
And he lists off what he will be missing if he were leaving. And he said over and over again, I just want to make sure that I take the emotion out of it. AKA, I want to make sure that in a week, I still think that was my last football game in Green Bay. I don't know if Rodgers is going to keep playing. I doubt it. I don't think for a guy who values comfort and friendships and all of those human elements, I think it would be very hard for him to restart in another place at this point in his career. Is it possible? Absolutely. Dude could still go play anywhere and still give anyone a run for their money. But I think, for somebody who values, and he listed them off, Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, Bakhtiari, Mason Crosby, like those are the guys who personally kept him going through what was a very difficult season. And, he's going to be 40 next year. It is really hard to play in the NFL at 40, let alone play quarterback at a high level, let alone restart with a new organization. So $50 million or not, he made it very clear, I will walk away from that $50 million. That's not why I'm playing. He just has to figure out if he wants to prove it to himself anymore. And I don't think there's anything left to prove.
I don't think there's anything left to prove for a guy who's won 4 MVPs, and I couldn't agree more. In the press conference, it was typical 12 at the start, right? Thanking all the beat writers. Yeah. And then I think it really hit home when he said, I'll miss the guys, I'll miss the fans. And then he walked away, said thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. If Mason Crosby calls it a career, you don't know about Bach. Do they choose to move on? Mercedes Lewis, all these guys who he's played so many snaps, so many games with. If they all choose to walk away and call it careers, you're suddenly looking at a significantly younger Packers team with rookies, second, third year guys that, does he want to stick around for, or does he want to walk away?
And I know that people have been making comparisons between Favre's last game at Lambeau, Rodgers' last game at Lambeau. There was a great thread on Twitter, I believe, by the Packers history account, who kind of went through all of the parallels. I would assume that's on Rodgers' head just a little bit. However, the reason I say that is because he made some of those parallels himself. He talked about, all right, after that game in 2007, which Chris, is my first vivid football memory.
Yep.
It's that game in 2007. And I remember it because I cried after that game, Chris, because I was 7 years old. And I remember my dad walking into my bedroom and saying, don't you ever cry about a football game again. No, my dad's not a yelling man, but he raised his voice a little bit. He's like, don't you ever cry about a football game ever again.
Mr. Hurley laid the law.
Yeah. He did. And I'll be honest, Chris, that is the only reason I didn't cry at the end of that press conference on Sunday, because it's sad. And one of my bosses at work asked me on Monday, he said, you think Rodgers is done? I talked through this with him essentially. They said, you going to miss it? I said, I'm not. And here was my answer. I'm not going to miss all the drama. I'm not going to miss the, let's say, personal life of Aaron Rodgers that played into things I had to report on, things I had to cover, and things I'd talk about all the time. But I'm going to miss watching one of the best 3 human beings to ever throw a football that this universe has ever seen. So yes, that I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss the ability for him to bring back my football team from depths I never thought that they could come back from. I'm going to miss him making throws that literally make me jump out of my seat and say, what in the world did I just watch? That's what I'm going to miss. I'm not going to miss all the BS. I'm not going to miss the drama. But I'm going to miss my starting quarterback that has literally played the entire time that I have memories of watching football. That's what I'll miss.
Yeah, definitely. I won't miss the offseason storylines. I won't miss him always being in the media. I won't miss the constant the last couple of years. Are you in, are you out in the offseason where we psychoanalyze every little move he does?
Right.
But man, as Packer fans, for the last 15 years, we've gotten to watch arguably the greatest arm talent to ever play the game. And I'll miss the moments, man. I'll miss 4th and 20 in Arizona. I'll miss the Hail Marys at the end of the game. I'll miss single-handedly willing the Packers back from down whatever to victory. Of course we'll miss it all, but as to quote Aaron Rodgers, eventually the carousel stops and you got to get off.
Yes, you do. And thankfully, Chris, to transition a little bit, our biggest rival is still so bad. And not to turn this into a Packers podcast, but you knew what you were getting when Chris and I started the show. The Chicago Bears have the number 1 overall pick in this next year's draft because the Houston Texans suck at tanking.
Lovie
so
Smith.
Bad.
Lovie Smith.
Shout out to Lovie Smith. He now joins my top 2 Chicago Bears ever, along with Jay Cutler. And
Smith gave the best middle finger a coach can ever give before getting fired.
Yeah, MJ, I want to ask you that. He's gone on Black Monday. Did he know before the game that was happening? And was that his final FU to Houston?
100%. You're the worst team in the NFL the whole season. Consistently. You are the worst team in the NFL. Of course you're getting fired. Yeah. You were the placeholder because of the whole Deshaun Watson mess. You were the placeholder until they could get a new young quarterback in with a new young head coach. So, of course, he knew he was getting fired. And he said, I want to show to anybody who may still want to give me a job that I know how to win football games. Screw what the Houston Texans want. He showed at the end of the season that I can still win football games because he gave numerous high-quality NFL teams, including the Chiefs, who are the top seed in the AFC. He gave them a run for their money. He made really good NFL teams fight to win those football games. But yeah, they're the worst team in the NFL? Really? No.
I don't know if you caught the ending of that Colts-Texans game. Was hilariously bad between two teams that couldn't even tank properly. It was fucking
And it made me so happy because I knew what the Colts were doing too. They knew that they wouldn't be able to trade the number 1 for the number 1 pick with a division rival. But if the Bears get it, I could trade with them and I can get my quarterback. So I want to give a personal shout out to Jeff Saturday and the Colts because they made it so that this offseason is way more interesting. Because if the Texans had the number 1 overall pick, okay, they're trash. They're going to take Bryce Young probably. Yeah. And who's taking it to? Who are we taking it to? But now we have quite the offseason where. And I will ask you this, Chris. I know since Joey is in the chat, this is going to be fantastic. I'm excited for this. He's going to hate me. Do the Bears take a quarterback?
If I were the Chicago Bears, I would shop Justin Fields and take Bryce Young number 1 overall. But that's just me.
And why is that, Chris? Give me a little.
Joey, if you're there, my man, You know I love you, but personally, I don't believe Justin Fields has shown enough as a downfield passer in his first couple years in the league to warrant not taking Bryce Young first overall, who I think is uber talented, one of the best QB prospects in the last couple of years. Yeah.
So here's why I would take a quarterback. I saw, and this is like the only time that I'm going to give Benjamin Albright credit on something.
Yeah.
But I saw a tweet from him. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
You know, damn well,
Oh, no.
I'm watching on the side. I'm hearing this shit. I can't. I'm trying to pay attention to work, and I hear this blasphemy, this absolute terrible
Bruce,
take.
hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I have work to do, and I hear this shit.
Hi, Coach.
Hey,
This is going to be the take all offseason long. You take Bryce Young first overall, baby. I'm here for it.
So here's what you do. You take Bryce Young first overall. You trade Justin Fields to the Ravens, who've shown they'll give you way too much for one of your good players. And then the Ravens trade Lamar Jackson, who doesn't want to be there anymore. They
I'm
get
here
their
for
good
it all.
running
I'm here for
quarterback.
it all.
Lamar Jackson gets to go get paid somewhere. And the Chicago Bears get a real franchise quarterback at
Lamar's
number
a
one.
lion.
that'd
Oh,
be-
yes.
Also,
Yes, and
also-
then Jordan Love takes over in Green Bay, and you finally have three
Oh.
good quarterbacks in the division. Sorry,
Stop.
Kirk Cousins.
stop. I had to jump in. I heard that. I got to finish up. I still have another half hour of this.
Oh.
But I have thoughts on this, and I'm gonna either tweet them out or I'll jump back in. But all right, gents, have fun. Keep doing.
Bye,
rocking it.
Bruce.
Thank you for filling in for me. I appreciate it, Chris.
No worries, Bruce. Love you.
Love you guys. Go Bears.
Oh my gosh. Bye bye. Oh my word. That made my day. But no, for real. The reason you take a quarterback is because Justin Fields was the worst passer in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
So the running is cool. All right, we're gonna talk about that in a second, Michael.
We will talk about that for sure.
The running is fantastic. But you know what Michael Vick also was able to do? He had a cannon. Need I not, Zach, see if you can bring up for me, just as an example, that opening bomb to Deshaun Jackson on Monday Night Football against Washington in 2014 or whenever that was. Because that is the epitome of Michael Vick could run.
Yeah,
But you want to know why that dude stayed in the lead for 10 years? Because he also
arm
had
talent.
a cannon.
The arm talent, absolutely.
So the arm talent, like Justin Fields, can throw the ball hard. It's just the DP. And don't get me wrong, that can be improved. We've seen it with Josh Allen. We've seen it with other quarterbacks who did not look accurate in their first few years. And then all of a sudden, they're able to turn it around. But it's not looked good the first few years. I think next year is the defining year for Justin Fields. They have so much money. They have so much draft capital that if they do decide to build around Justin Fields, dude, you better turn it on next year. Because if you don't, then this organization, legitimately, if he doesn't turn it on next year, Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, who have put their careers, their professional futures around this man, if he doesn't deliver, then that's not just bad for Bears fans. That's bad for a lot of those coaches and a lot of the front office who, if they do commit to Justin Fields and decide not to take a quarterback, which, by the way, they sounded really wishy-washy on, if they do make that decision, boy, you better strap up and get it done.
You got to do your due diligence, right? You're on the clock at 1. If you think Bryce Young is a better prospect than Justin Fields, I think you absolutely pull the trigger.
I've got
Yes,
the Michael
Zach.
Vick video if you want it.
Oh, absolutely.
Tee it up.
I want to show what the difference is between Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields.
to his left early in this game to get him started. It's playing from about the 12, and there's Vic, as you talked about, John, rolling and launching downfield for Deshaun Jackson, who accelerates from the opening play and all the way for a touchdown. 88 yards.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's about a 50-yard air throw.
Yeah.
On a dime to, at the time, the fastest human being in the NFL.
Oh, Vic's arm was sick, yeah.
Not to be that guy, but Justin Fields can't do that. So Bruce says, trade down. No. Stop. Will Anderson.
Here's what I'll say in defense.
Yeah, play Bears fans for me, Chris.
Here's what I'll say. The Bears' weapons. The Bears' weapons stink. All right, if you're going to develop a QB prospect like Justin Fields.
Hold up, Mr. Jack Gaffney. Mr. Jack Gaffney. Yes, they did, 100%. But here's the having no weapons doesn't make you less accurate.
No.
Completion,
right.
There's a difference between accuracy and completion percentage. I'm not looking at completion percentage because Tom Brady can have a great completion percentage. That doesn't mean he's impressive. I will go on that at some point today. I'm just warning you, Chris, because Bruce isn't here, and so it's kind of like my free pass.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's like completion percentage doesn't mean you're accurate. So I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the advanced stats that show he's the most inaccurate starting quarterback in the NFL this year. Worse than Zach Wilson. Worse than Davis Mills. Mr. Long Neck Man is more accurate. Well, he can see more because of the neck. But I don't know. I feel like you could do so much more. Just think about the draft capital you could get for Justin Fields, and then how many resources you would have to build after that.
But you
You'd be sitting there with a million picks. What's up, Zach?
You can get more draft capital for the top pick than you would for Justin Fields.
Let's say you take Bryce Young, you deal Fields, you're sitting there still with a lot of picks and $100 million in cap space to go add pass catchers, fix that offensive line, and add some dudes on defense around him. Sounds like a pretty sweet idea to me, but
what trade machine do you use, Chris? I don't even know if you use a trade machine. But do you use one? I'm trying.
Does ESPN have one?
I don't think so. The first one that popped up is Fanspo. I don't know if they're legit. Oh wait, no, this one is not accurate because it still has Roquan Smith on the team.
Yeah, Jack, you're right. The free agent crop, there's not that many big names, no. Unless you're looking
here we go.
at...
Over the cap has one.
Do they?
I think so. It looks like it. We're gonna go Team A, Chicago Bears. I'm just curious what people say they could get for Justin Fields.
Yeah, the crop isn't great. You're looking at guys like Aguilar, Sterling Shepard, Chark, Julio Jones. Like,
it's going to be interesting. I mean, guys like Mecole Hardman, if they hit the market, I'd be interested in taking a flyer on that one. You have years in the Andy Reid system.
Yeah,
right.
That way, he hasn't really popped there necessarily, and I think it didn't help him at all that he was hurt this year, where he was pretty much the direct Tyreek Hill replacement. But he might be the best of the crop in this agent class. It's not great.
No, it's not great. No.
I don't see the world, and this may be biased. I don't know. I just don't trust the Bears front office.
No.
With all of those resources. Because like Jack said, they burned a second-round pick, which ended up being a first-round pick because the Dolphins don't have
Dolphins forfeited. Yeah, it's 32 for Chase Claypool.
Yeah. So that's just And I agree with that, Alex. You can develop in a. But here's the thing. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, the Eagles have a better offensive coaching staff than the Bears.
Oh, absolutely, with Stetchen and what's his name? Sirianni, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, I love our boy Luke Getsy. I would love for Luke Getsy to come back, but I don't think Luke Getsy has quite the offensive mind that those gentlemen do. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm going to have to see it before I believe it. I have seen the Eagles develop quarterbacks. I've seen the Eagles win with less. I mean, for goodness sakes, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
the thing about Hurts on that Philly roster at the time, yes, Philly's roster was aging, but it was still a really good roster, man. You have Devonta Smith, and then they go out and get A.J. Brown.
right.
The offensive line's a brick wall. Like,
So, yeah, if you can get Justin Fields, one of the best offensive lines the NFL has ever seen, 2 dynamic receivers, 2 dynamic running backs, one who can pound it for 1,000 yards, and one of the best pass catchers in the last 5 years out of the backfield, well, then, yeah. I think
then you
Justin
take that
Fields
step,
could
yeah.
make that leap. But
What if they get Devontae?
I will cry.
Because
Actual tears.
here's what the Raiders are doing. And shout out Jack Gaffney.
Oh, no.
no, and that chatter could be there in the offseason, right? Obviously, he has the Getsy connection, and if the Raiders move on from Derek Carr, I don't see Devontae sticking around with Jared Stidham or whoever else they
It's
have
not
at QB.
if they move on from Derek Carr, it's when.
Well, yeah.
And how.
Not if, now, yeah.
But the Raiders, as the biggest Raider hater in the company, if you ask me, I feel as if I am most qualified to talk about the Raiders. I love the Raiders for what they're doing with this because I finally get to cheer for Derek Carr. I am a big Derek Carr guy. I love him as a human being. I think he's a really good player who happened to be on the team that I hate the most. So thank you, Raiders, for doing something so dumb and setting your franchise back many years, as it makes me a happier person. But the Raiders messed this whole thing up by hiring Josh McDaniels. That was a bad hire when it happened, and it turned out to be even worse after the season happened. He was the guy who's supposed to elevate Derek Carr further, or at least to the same point that John Gruden did. He brought in Devontae Adams to have a legit wide receiver 1, and what did it turn into? Nothing. They needed to rage at this point because, well, they don't really have other options with a cash-poor owner who I'm not sure he can even fire.
Oh, Lord.
He can afford to fire Josh McDaniels at the moment. And we'll bring in Coach Bruce while I go on my rant here.
He has the jersey on.
What up, boys? Guess who's on?
Oh, no.
If I'm the Bears, I'm looking at Devontae Adams, and I'm saying, give me a wide receiver 1 for Justin Fields to have. Let Darnell Mooney be a number 2 or a number 3, and let Chase Claypool also be in that group. Now you have Adams, Mooney, Claypool, and Cole Kmet. Those are pass catchers right there. If you're letting Mooney not be the number 1 guy, you're not letting Claypool be the number 1 guy because I don't think he's shown anything worth having that faith in him, at least currently. So now you have those guys ready to go, and then you can just build up an offensive line with draft picks and free agency. Yeah, I do think that Justin Fields can be a lot better than what he's shown with actual people around him.
Thank you, Zach.
Here's what I'll say, too. Bills draft Josh Allen, trade for Stephon Diggs, immediately take off. Eagles draft Jalen Hurts, trade for A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts' development immediately takes off. Adding a number 1 guy for the development goes through the roof.
I mean, Devontae Adams carried Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years, so
Whoa, hot take.
it's possible.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Not really. Not
It's not
after
a hot
seeing Rodgers' season and Devontae's season this year. But so Oh my gosh, Bruce! I originally was gonna let Chris and Zach talk about hockey, and
Oh,
since
we can
we
talk
have
some
all,
hockey.
and since we have all three of you, I think it is very fitting that right after a quick word from our sponsor, that we're gonna talk a little bit of hockey, and I'm gonna let you three gentlemen go at it, and then we'll finish up with a little NFL prediction, maybe a little NBA at the end.
Love
But
it.
first,
Well, let me be happy.
you
with the
need good
NBA.
insurance because sometimes your co-host has to be on a work call, and we have great insurance at Third Down Thursdays, Erie Insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
Erie Insurance, the best.
Yep, at mybig.com. More specifically, real quick. So I have to apologize, MJ. Thank you so much for taking over and doing your thing today. Again, shout out to you, Chris, for being a badass. Zach, as always, much appreciated. So specifically, it was like a work thing, like a study thing that I have to do because we have a big marketing meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
And basically, I have to be on my A game. So I had to study and do some stuff that I didn't typically do back in the day when I was in high school and college because that shit just came easy for me. So that's what she said. But in any case, it was just basically me like, doing some homework and things like that. So just that way I don't sound like a jackass like I usually do with Third Down Thursday. So man, do I get tired? Like holy cow, what is going on?
Well,
Every
it's the
age
lighting,
is 10
Bruce.
years.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lighting. Anytime I can come on with the fellas, like. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
Um,
and I look
so-
like an old ass person, which I am. Anyway, go ahead.
so Bruce complains like a middle school girl that is the bags under his eyes don't look good. Chris, what's going on in the NHL?
Oh, it's kind of been. I don't know about you, Zach, but kind of a weird year for the NHL a little bit.
Mhm.
You kind of got
That's high quality insight right there by Chris.
Oh yeah,
high quality insight.
Kind of
Yeah,
it's kind of been a little weird.
It's just been weird. Like
Well,
17
actually,
teams are using OCIR right now.
So I have a specific question. With regards to two questions. One regarding more local with the Blackhawks, and then one in general. So I have a futures bet on the on who was it? The Panthers? I want to say the Panthers. Or was it the Hurricanes? I don't know. It was one of those two teams to win it all. Was it? Oh, Zach, I don't like that face, dog.
If it's Florida, you're in trouble.
if it's
I'll say
Florida,
that.
you're in trouble.
Okay.
I'm not sure Florida's going to make it to the
If
playoffs.
it's Carolina, you're in business, Bruce.
I think I want to
I
say
have
it's
doubts about Carolina, though. The same ones I had last year with them, which is I don't know who the guy is there.
You
They
worry
have a lot
about?
of really
Yeah.
good players, but no one who's going to make the big play when they need it.
Yeah,
That's
they got
why
a really
they-
good team, but no true superstars. The knock on Carolina, yeah.
all right.
And-
Fair.
You need that in the playoffs. You need someone when the game is on the line to just make a play, and I don't know if they have that.
Yeah, you
So-
need Nathan McKinnon, Cale McCarr, like Connor McDavid. They
Austin
don't have
Matthews,
that on
yeah.
their roster. No.
So you're saying basically what you're saying is that you need a superstar to perform well in the playoffs for there to be any established success. Bulls, but I know I made a little weird parallel there, so I apologize. But so now to speak to what you just said, guys, the Chicago Blackhawks are in a very successful dumpster fire right now. Very successful dumpster fire. The unfortunate thing right now for the Blackhawks, and I don't know if you guys are like nice. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but both Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane have no trade clauses put into their contracts, which kind of hamstrings the organization. If if you guys were one of those two gentlemen, and I get it, they have like an established career here, multiple championships, families, whatever. If the opportunity arose to be traded to a championship quality, grab another Stanley Cup and have a chance to hoist that bad boy back over your head, would you guys both do it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
What
if
do you
I'm Chicago, I'm motivated to do it too.
I was just saying,
Motivated.
They're making the team better, and they need to be worse.
so what do
Yeah.
you think the reason why for them not to want to waive that no trade?
Well, for both Kane and Taves, like you've done just about everything there is to do in the league, right? You've won 3 cups. You've had about a sustained, like successful run as there's been ever in the history of hockey. You've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've grown up in Chicago from a rookie to where you are now. And if home is with the Blackhawks and you don't want to move, you don't have to waive it. And there's nothing really the team can do about it. But to me, I'd imagine both would want to go join a contender just because this Blackhawks team is like so fucking bad. But
I can't tell you last.
Defenseman Jack Johnson.
I can't tell you last time I watched the game.
It's all right. The Avs and the Blackhawks are about to play in a few minutes here.
Yep.
The Avs are a totally different conversation. That hurts my brain. But no, if I'm Chicago, I'm looking to move them. They need to be worse. There can't be competition for who's the worst team in the league. And there is in their own division with Arizona.
Agreed.
for
But
Kane, I'd imagine the market to be pretty significant. I think Taves still has a role in the league, but it's
Taves
probably
is
as like
overrated.
Hmm?
Taves has been overrated. Just like analytically, he's producing, but analytically, he hasn't been very good for a few years.
I think
He
right
might
now he's a guy you slot in your bottom 6, can move up into the top 6 if needed, second power play, and bring veteran leadership to a team that's trying to compete for Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah, Taves to me is a middle 6 guy still. I think.
Yeah.
Where you can play him third line, he can be an offensive punch, he can still score, and he can still produce and do whatever. But it's not going to be out of like the top lines guy. But I think Kane's going to be a big one. He's interesting. I don't know exactly what you get for him because he's still better than Taves is right now. His underlines look good. He's producing. He's doing well. I'm genuinely curious what comes for them. If I'm Colorado, I'm looking at Taves for a third and seeing if you can do that.
That's what I was going to say. The Avs make a lot of sense, right? Because he doesn't have to like be the guy in Colorado, obviously, because the Avs are so fucking loaded. But he can play the bottom 6, still help out veteran leadership, slot in on the power play if the Avs ever needed it, and move up at a moment's notice, right?
Yeah, he makes a lot of sense. And with the way the injuries have gone for Colorado this year, which I mean,
That too.
guys all season
Mhm.
long, I don't know.
Yeah, they've been beat up all
Like,
long.
you can still slot in Jonathan Taves as your second line center for the short term in terms of until you get some of those guys back, Val Nichushkin, Gabe Landeskog.
Yep.
You can comfortably put him there and say, all right, we're going to need you now. And when playoff time comes, we're probably putting you on the third line. You're going to be the talent that we need to put around Alex Newhook, who is a whole different conversation. But if you give Alex Newhook talent, he's going to produce, and Taves is that kind of talent to put with him. He makes a lot of sense, even if it's a one-year rental for Colorado. You
Mhm.
can make it work if you can make it a decent deal where you don't give up your first-round pick this year. I don't see why Colorado doesn't.
I like it. All right.
Chris, how about the Maple Leafs?
Oh, MJ, how about the Maple Leafs? Honestly, don't let me believe that this is the year. Don't like you got to shoot down my hope, but like I'm feeling this year, baby. I am.
The
Feeling
excitement.
this year to do
Oh.
what? Get out of the
Just
first
the
round or win?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. They're gonna finish with like 116 points, probably the second best record in the NHL, and play the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the playoffs.
Lose.
Again.
It's one of the biggest things going in the NHL division playoff system. It's a fucking joke because the Leafs get screwed every year, but
Well, it's a joke
Yeah,
for other reasons than just the Leafs getting screwed, but
Yeah.
that too.
Listen, I don't know hockey well, and I know that playing Tampa Bay is not good.
No, you don't want to play Tampa Bay.
I know that. I know that much.
Unless you're the Avalanche, we want to play Tampa Bay. But that's not the point.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Zach. Did you have anything to follow up on that?
On which part?
On anything that Chris had to say about the Maple Leafs?
The Leafs are interesting, man. They and the Oilers, I think, are in kind of a similar spot. If they don't start succeeding, like doing things, especially if the Oilers miss the playoffs, we might have to be talking about one very specific thing for them, and it's this.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews goes to Arizona. He goes home. Get as much as you. I don't even know how you begin to put together a trade package for Connor McDavid, but you might look into it. Hell, if I'm Chicago, I'm trading that top pick that gets the dart for Connor McDavid. But you might have to look into it because I don't think they're going to be happy if they don't succeed soon. And especially if you're Edmonton, if you don't make it after getting a conference finals run last year, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject in Edmonton. I think they're second wild card spot right now?
Their second wild card spot, and St. Louis is 2 points behind them with a game in hand.
Ooh. Hey, just if you're not aware, they're losing to the Detroit Red Wings right now.
Yeah. No Matthews in the line. No
Red
Matthews
Wings
in the
are kind
lineup
of-
will do that.
I do have a question.
For being bad are kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Why do so many people hate the Toronto Maple Leafs?
They think
That's the only thing. I have no idea anybody on that team. Basically any hockey team for that matter.
a lot of it, Bruce. A lot of it has to do with just the coverage of the team. They think honestly, all the media is always fawning over what the Leafs are. Leafs year. They don't talk about their team, and then all these teams think when they go into Toronto, like the refs, like the favorable calls and all this stuff. It's been going on for decades now.
Packers, got it.
As a small market fan, a team of Denver sports, and a general hater of the big market teams, all out the Lakers and the Knicks and the Nets. That stuff kind of bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, but as someone who's not deeply ingrained in hockey like others are, I don't have as big a problem with it. But I can definitely see it gets annoying, man. Like they don't stop with Toronto just the way ESPN doesn't stop with the Lakers. Ever.
Yeah, it's always Leaf talk. It's always Leaf talk.
Okay. Thank you. I can't. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I've really tried to kind of like, and I legit have MJ to thank for this. So thank you, MJ. Like from a statistical standpoint, like I can't say that LeBron isn't one of the best ever. I can't, because he's legit one of the best ever. However, I am so fucking sick and tired of turning on ESPN and watching SportsCenter and seeing, are the Lakers going to do this? Or LeBron's playing his 30,000th game.
Bruce, how does this affect LeBron's legacy?
Or that!
Exactly.
LeBron's legacy.
Exactly. No, all right. I'm tired of it. It's the same thing with ESPN used to do with Boston Red Sox games. Same thing with the Yankees games. Like
they still do it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They still do it with the Yankees and Red Sox.
Even with and I'm gonna give you guys props on this. Even with the Packers and how well they've played and having one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, do they get the coverage they deserve on ESPN? No. Yeah, you heard it. I said it.
That's my guy. Real quick, gentlemen, before we change pages here a little bit, give me your Stanley Cup predictions.
Ooh,
This
good
year's
question.
so hard. It's so hard this year with just the way things have shaken out.
So hard.
Give me Boston Bruins to defeat the Vegas Golden Knights.
I don't know if I trust
Bruce-
Vegas's goaltending situation enough to get there.
Logan Thompson.
He's
26-year-old
really
stud.
good. He's been really good. I just don't know about in the playoffs.
As long as I have as long as the Hurricanes, dude. It was the Hurricanes, by the way. It was Carolina.
Bruce, that's a good futures bet. They're a wagon.
So It's a part of a huge parlay. It was $2 to win 10 grand. So
What were the other parts?
The Nuggets to win the final.
Georgia to win the national championship. The Hurricanes to win the NHL. The Bills to win the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yes. What was that? Kansas to win the NCAA tournament, and the Brooklyn Nets to win the NBA Finals.
Holy shit.
That could actually hit.
Yeah, but if I get 3 out of 5 of them, I'm cashing that bitch out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If they give you
I
this
don't-
cash, yeah.
Or 3 out of 6, I should say.
First of all, the Nuggets are winning the final.
Zach, give me your Stanley Cup
Um,
prediction.
Really?
Oh yeah, Stanley Cup. Yeah. Zach, what's your Stanley Cup? Sorry.
Boston, I think it's Boston this year. They're playing too
This
well.
guy's so
They've
saying
got
the
all
Avs.
the guys
So
they
saying
need
the
to
Avs.
do it. I'm gonna say the Avs.
Yeah.
Here's why though. Here's why though. In that
Oh.
they're injured at the moment. They don't have their captain, and unlike every other sport, the captain actually means something in hockey.
Yeah.
And
Landy's
the
kind of the
captain-
heartbeat of that team.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is that?
Like, you have Nathan McKinnon, who is, their best player. He's the engine, but he's not the leader and the guy in the locker room that Landy is.
Mhm.
And not having him the entire season, he's not with the team right now. I disagree, Dan. But he's not with the team right now.
Oh,
It's
matter of
hard
fact,
to keep
that was
going.
great.
When things are going through adversity, you need that guy like Landeskog to keep everyone up. They don't have it.
Yeah,
So,
not having I was gonna say not having Nichushkin and Mac for a while was huge too.
Nichushkin out. The second Nichushkin came back for 3 games, everything on that team looked 100 times better. The forecheck was better, the defense was better, the PK was better. Don Nichushkin, from a guy who had 0 points at the Dallas Stars and coming back to
Oh my gosh,
the-
Bruce.
Lance Briggs, nice. You need those guys back. You're missing a third of your top 6 right now, and they're your biggest, best defensive players. It's kind of hard to win. In that
Speaking
way.
of goaltending, are you worried that Georgiev is going to be able to hold up for a playoff run?
I am worried about it. I think he's shown better than I thought he would to this point. Yeah, he's had a few shaky games and stuff, but by and large, I've actually been really impressed with him. He looks calm when things are close up around the net. He makes easy plays. His rebounds go to the sides. He does a lot of the stuff I like, but we haven't seen it. Obviously, we haven't seen it in the playoffs. We don't know what that looks like. So until he does it, I am a little worried about it. But everything he can do to show me that he can, he's done at the moment.
Real quick, I just want to throw this up there.
Ooh. Wait,
MJ,
wait.
we're gonna have all off season to talk about this.
I'm just saying that Jordan Love had a better 2022 season.
Well, he played
Not even a
2
week
games.
old.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
He played 5 drives.
That's okay. I mean,
Tough sample size here, but anyway.
it's fine. It's fine.
Thanks.
So
Now these guys are fun.
Bruce, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm getting. People keep sending me text messages.
Ding, ding. We get it, Bruce. You're popular. Okay, mute your computer. Real quick before we do some our NFL playoff prediction, I just would like to, and I know this is rare for me to do something like this, but I would like to give a shout out to the Denver Nuggets since Zach is here, and because the Warriors got embarrassed on national television by the Phoenix Suns, just made me really happy to see the Nuggets kick the crap out of the Suns last night. So thank you, Zach, for that.
I'm pissed I didn't win by 30.
Yeah,
You're so
Denver
funny.
sports. Is
yeah,
on
because
fire right now.
I really needed that. I really needed that.
I
No,
have
they
a whole
can't be on
rant
fire
about
until the Rockies are good, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
the other teams are.
Tell you what you
looking
can
up, sort of.
Yeah.
The
We're-
Nuggets,
so-
man, they
So we're gonna
look good. They look ready. I don't even know how to feel about it because I've never really experienced it. We had 2009 where Anthony Carter couldn't get the ball in bounds against the Lakers, and that I think cost them the series, but that's not the point. But you have a guy that looks like a 3-time MVP, 3 times in a row. Back to back.
You know it's not gonna happen.
He's been
Joker, man.
He's not
He
I
should
don't
be,
know.
but it won't.
If they finish with the top seed, he's having the most efficient volume scoring season of all time right now.
I can
That's
see
unbelievable.
I can see them giving it to LeBron James.
Almost averaging a triple double.
LeBron James.
I can see them giving it to LeBron James over him just because they don't
Oh,
want.
Bruce.
The Lakers aren't even going to make the
I'm not saying
playoffs.
that's what I
The
want.
Lakers aren't making the playoffs.
Relax. It was me. Okay, so obviously it worked.
There's going to be an interesting race this year, though.
I'll
Jason
tell you
Tatum
right
is
now.
suspended.
Kevin
Doncic is there.
Kevin Durant's more likely to get that piece than.
KD's been great.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
worried with him, though, because he's going to miss a month.
Yeah, I know.
MVPs don't miss more than 10 games.
Yeah.
Season.
So I'm going to say this right now, and so since we're touching on it, and I'll be quick about it. This is my quick Chicago rant again. Go figure.
Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord.
I really like Zach LaVine. I do. I like him. However, he isn't a max. He's a max contract guy that doesn't have a max contract dog in him. Example being
Dang.
Donovan Mitchell. I love Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell is a classic example of a guy who has that dog mentality and will give you a shit ton of points. Case in point, 71 that he had against go figure the Bulls. Another player for an example that Chicago fans for whatever fucking reason thought was better than Zach LaVine, or excuse me, Zach LaVine was better than was Devin Booker. What? No, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. I'm still on that. I'm still on that path of saying, sell what you have, get what you can, rebuild the correct way, and don't be in that area of mediocrity. Anyway, thank you, Dan. Appreciate that.
Fantastic.
So to answer your question earlier, though, MJ, these bad boys, I found
Yes.
these were from our NFL prediction show.
Oh,
boy.
I wasn't sure that I was like, I'm not gonna say some stupid bullshit, and I found them crumpled up in the corner because I think I got mad one time about it. But in any case, gentlemen, would you like to hear my division predictions
yes.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
from earlier in the year? All right, AFC. We'll go AFC first. AFC East, I had the Bills.
Yep.
AFC North, I had the Bengals.
Yep.
AFC South, I had the Titans.
I did too.
AFC
Go
West,
Jags.
AFC West, I had the Chargers.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
Betting against Mahomes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had for wild cards, I had Ravens, Dolphins, and Chiefs.
So you had all the playoff teams.
You have all the playoff teams.
Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Besides
And
Tennessee.
then
Tennessee, yeah.
Smirts. Just wait till you hear the NFC, though.
Uh-oh.
Bears, NFC North champs.
The NFC has been horrendous this year, though, man. It's hard to predict that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
NFC East, I had the Eagles.
Mhm.
NFC North, I had the Packers. Hold on, stand by.
Sad music.
Hold on, stand by. North, I had the Packers. NFC South, I had the Bucks. NFC West, I had the Rams. Whatever.
Yeah.
They were decimated.
Yeah.
Decimated.
Wild cards, I had the Cowboys, Saints, and 49ers. That's
That's
the.
great in the NFC.
Yeah, not bad, Bruce.
I mean, okay. And then AFC Championship, I have the Bills versus the Bengals.
I could see
If
it.
it's still going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. And then NFC Championship, I had Packers versus Eagles. Sorry.
All this Packers talk.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. And then Super Bowl, I had Bills versus Packers. And winning it, I had the Bills.
I could see the Bills winning it, though.
Yeah.
They're going to
I mean,
be on a different level of momentum this whole playoff.
So to start off our playoff chit chat, Giants, Vikings. I don't know. I guess we should just go picks. Want to go picks, MJ?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's go. I don't have the games in front of me, but Giants Vikings. I'm predicting upset. Giants win this game. Vikings are the biggest fucking frauds in the playoffs, and I think they're the biggest fucking fraud to ever make the playoffs at their record. That's it.
Amen. I second what he said. I couldn't say it better myself.
So you're saying
They had a negative 3-point differential and they were 13-4.
They can't
tell me how you're that bad. And the Dallas Cowboys were 12-5 and their point differential was plus 125.
I'll never pick Kirk Cousins. Brian Dable, the pride of Buffalo, New York. Let's go G-Men, baby.
Oh, okay. All right, Cowboys, Bucks.
Wait, hold on. I gotta get my pick here real quick. I think the Vikings have one. I think they have one game, and it's because I don't trust Daniel Jones. Danny Warcrimes, if I'm in a different group chat. I don't trust Daniel Jones more than I do anything else. I think Dayball's a better coach than KFC.
Danny Warcrimes.
I don't know how it started. It just started in a group chat. I'm not the originator of it, but I think the Vikings have one, and then after that, I think they're going to get absolutely creamed next week.
Danny Warcrimes.
Anyway, next game.
Let's go Cowboys versus Bucks here.
Cowboys, Bucks.
This is an easy one.
This is honestly. All right, so I'm gonna put myself out on that fucking ledge. I don't give a shit. It really is an easy one, but I might go against the grain on it. It's in Tampa, and it's in the playoffs. And according to me, Brady is going to shine because he's a leader of men, and he's never lost against the Cowboys. So that being said, MJ, the best quarterback in NFL history will lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a victory on the ship and win it. That he shall.
We're experiencing 1 to 3 inches already. We're expecting about 2 more inches.
I'm taking the Bucks as well, though. To be honest, but it's not for Tom Brady's the GOAT. Whatever. I just don't trust the Cowboys.
I just like saying shit like that.
They got their ass beat against the Sam Howell Commanders, who are trying to lose, and you want to talk momentum going into the playoffs? That's bad. And how about them boys every year, man? Every year. It's like
I don't know if you guys saw it. I thought
every year.
I don't know if you guys saw it. I thought the talk was real when Jason Garrett mentioned on Fox that this Cowboys defense is significantly slower on grass instead of turf.
I saw that.
I thought that was really interesting. And then I think this is going to come down to Cowboy running game against the Bucks D. And this is a game the Cowboys have lost for the past 30 years, baby. Give me the Bucks.
Hakeem Hicks, baby.
Here's the thing.
Here comes Cowboy. Here we go, MJ.
I love dumping on the Cowboys more than
I know.
I'm a Packers fan. Aaron Rodgers, if he owns the Chicago Bears, he's got a minority stake in the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, slide over, Jerry. We're gonna smoke some ayahuasca in AT&T, right? So I love telling the Cowboys. Unfortunately, nothing. I love telling the Cowboys to go screw off. But here's the thing: the Bucks are so bad.
Yeah, that's
Tom Brady is old and slower than he's ever been, which is impressive given the fact that the man ran like a 7-second 40-yard dash coming out of Michigan.
6.9.
The man has no talent around him anymore because they're all hurt or washed or have stopped, caring because the team is bad. You know what? If he was really such a great leader of men, maybe they wouldn't be 8-9 or whatever with a negative 45-point differential. They are such a bad football team. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's the GOAT. The Cowboys are the better football team. Tom Brady will not be able to keep up with the Cowboys offense. You're talking about a Cowboys offense that has dropped 40 in primetime twice this year. Tom Brady hasn't sniffed 40 unless it's his age.
So
give me the Cowboys.
Real quick, all right. So I'm not actually disagreeing with you. to because in Tom Brady's standards, he's had a bad year. What if I were to tell you he threw for 4,694 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 9 picks?
Because he had the most pass attempts in a season in NFL history.
NFL history, yeah.
His yards per pass attempt were like 50th in NFL history.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm just giving you stats. And Mike Evans also had over 1,000 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns.
Oh, Mike Evans is a stud. Yeah, I like Mike Evans.
I think this is going to be a close game. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think either team is going to run away from it. And at the end of the day, I still trust Tom Brady to get that team down the field when they need it most, more than I do Dak Prescott.
Why do you trust
that's the difference for me. The difference for me is I trust Tom Brady to get the job done at the end of the game, in which I think this is going to be a close game, more than I trust Dak Prescott. And I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. Just I don't know.
Dak Prescott,
but I don't know how good Dak Prescott actually is. I've been debating this for years because there's times where he's like a top 5 quarterback and then he'll drop back to being a top 20 quarterback, and you're like, what are you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of good this year, but the bad has been really bad, especially on against the Commanders on Sunday.
Oof. Well, yeah, it's not even talk about that. All right, next game.
All right, let's go Seahawks 49ers.
Ooh, easy. 49ers.
49ers.
Rock and roll, baby. Go
Dude.
Niners.
This is such a lose-lose for the Broncos
Brock
fans
Purdy.
because
Hey,
now
he
I
got
have to either cheer for the Seahawks, which they've been annoying as shit this year, or I have to cheer. And like the Broncos have Raheem or D'Amico Ryans as a candidate interview coming up. I'd like to get that done sooner.
Yeah.
And we also have their first-round pick, so the earlier they lose, the better. So like I really want the Seahawks to win, but I can't stand cheering for the Seahawks. So it's a wash for me. Go Niners. I think they've got this one fairly easily. Especially
Also,
the Seahawks have been stumbling at the end of the year too. I don't think
Brock
they're
Purdy,
going
shout out to him. Wasn't he a NFC Player of the Month or week? One of those two. I can't remember
He's been great, man. He's been great.
Awesome.
I do wonder where the ceiling is with Brock Purdy. I think it took away the Super Bowl with the Niners, but I think he can get out of a first-round game against the stumbling Seahawks.
They went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G.
Jimmy
You can't tell
Garoppolo,
me that
yeah.
Brock Purdy isn't as
Jimmy G is
talented
better
as
than
Jimmy
Brock
Garoppolo.
Purdy.
No, he's not.
With Debo and now with
No, he's not.
See,
He's like
Brock Purdy's more athletic and has a stronger arm.
dude, and you got
That's okay.
CMC. And you got CMC. Just say that.
But
Yeah.
we'll leave it there. The Niners win this one easy, I think.
All right.
All right, let's go to. Did I get all of the NFC games? I think I did. Let's go to Chris. I think you're going to enjoy this one, bud.
Uh-oh.
Chargers, Jaguars. Go Jaguars.
Brady, if you're watching on the stream, I want to do it.
Do it.
I just can't. Chargers win.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Agree.
I don't know, man. I watched that Broncos Chargers game last week, and the Chargers played their starters for over 3/4 of that game. So I watched the Broncos put up 31 on the Chargers. The worst offense in the NFL, Denver Broncos, put up 31 on the Chargers.
True.
And based on what Russell Wilson did this past year, Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
Correct.
That is an offense that is better than the Broncos going into it with a Chargers team that has Joey Bosa still on the snap count. Derwin James has played very little the last few weeks. I don't know what his health situation looks like. Rashawn Slater's missed the entire season. He might be back this week, but how good is he really going to be after missing a full season? I don't know. Mike Williams might not play because he got injured in a game he shouldn't have been playing in last week. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do. And plus,
Staley's
I don't
an idiot.
think – and Staley's going to sell. I don't think Staley's very good personally, so I got to take the Jags.
So I'm gonna use your thought process, Zach, against you. I trust Justin Herbert currently as an NFL quarterback more right now than I trust him.
Oh, that's fair. I trust Herbert more than Lawrence.
I'm gonna go Chargers, and I think contrary to what you said too, I think this team, the Chargers defense, shows up and shows out against the Jaguars this week.
I don't know who's there to show up and show out though. I don't trust the run defense either, and Travis Etienne's gonna have a field day. I think that's really the big thing for the Jags. If they can get the run game going.
Can the Jags secondary hold up against these Chargers receivers?
Depends on who's playing.
Yeah.
If Mike Williams plays, I don't know. But if it's just Keenan Allen, and you're telling me Tyson Campbell go take care of Keenan Allen, I think that's something they can do.
MJ, you haven't given. What do you think?
Y'all are overthinking it. It's the Jags.
Oh my God!
No way.
I bought the T-shirt. I bought, and it was always the Jags T-shirt.
Yeah, it was always the Jags. The Chargers. Let me put it this way. I don't care about the quarterback. I care about the coach.
Yeah.
Brandon Staley is coaching against a coach that's won a Super Bowl.
It's very true.
If you're talking about a first round playoff game, the Chargers have shown they choke. The Jags are young and hungry. They're coming off a huge momentum win, and they have a quarterback and a head coach that work very well together and will do what they need to do to win this football game. Jags all day.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. I love it.
All right. Next one, we'll go maybe the easiest game of this week.
Oh,
Bills.
blowout city.
Sorry,
Bills
Skylar
fine.
Thompson.
Tua, I hope you get healthy.
Does Josh Allen play the second half?
No.
No.
I think he'll play the third. I don't think he'll play the fourth.
I'm here for Case Keenum in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Case Keenum could win the football game starting by himself.
Oh God.
It's
I hate the Bears.
Buffalo easy.
The Bills are in such a fascinating spot because they're going to have more momentum than any other team in the league.
Yeah, 100%. Can you imagine? Like,
Hamlin
if you
stuff,
really think
that's a momentum thing too.
the amount of adversity that team has faced this whole NFL season, MJ, I think you and I talked about this last week.
Yeah.
With the and I don't know if you guys talked about Damar Hamlin being released from the hospital. That's awesome, great news.
It's awesome news, yeah.
God bless. But everything that happened with that young man, and then the snow, the staying in Chicago where they had to open up a bar for them, and they hung out and drank in Chicago, and then Thanksgiving playing game in Detroit, and then staying in Detroit. The NFL,
Dawson Knox's brother,
Luke Knox passed away.
Yes,
and
the NFL loves storylines, and what better of a storyline do you have currently going right now than that?
You don't.
Bruce, are you saying the NFL is rigged?
I didn't say that. I'm saying what better storyline do you have in the NFL than that?
Yeah,
and I wish
this thing for the Dolphins, and it still will not matter.
And I wish Sean McDermott would get more love for Coach of the Year because of that. Because coaching through these expectations and everything the Bills have been through is
said, actually 100%. Good call. I like that.
Yeah. All right.
So that one's easy.
Last one?
All right, last one here. Maybe the hardest one to pick.
Maybe the hardest one to pick. What?
Maybe, depending on Lamar Jackson.
Not anymore.
I don't care who. I don't care
Lamar's
who's
out.
playing.
Lamar's out.
Bengals, baby.
Lamar's out.
Lamar's
Bengals.
out. Bengals are going to win this game, I think.
What's the
Bengals,
spread at?
baby.
I think the Bengals are underrated, to be honest. I think
Confirmed, by the way.
we're not talking about them as a Super Bowl team nearly enough, I don't think.
What's the spread at? 8.5? Did it move with Lamar out?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it, to be
I
honest.
can look real quick.
He is for sure.
Is it crazy if Huntley
It's 9.5
goes?
Cincy.
Crazy to think if Huntley goes, the Ravens can cover.
Oh no, they can cover that.
They can cover. I don't
9.5?
think they're going to win it.
They can cover 9.5.
Like you get a John Harbaugh team,
It's in
divisional game in Cincy.
Yeah, that's why I think road divisional dog. You always bet the spread So
I can't see that Baltimore team
rolling
losing
over.
by multiple scores or getting blown out. Like they're too well coached. They're too many good guys. They're too good on D. And if Huntley goes, I think get the running game going and make enough plays in the passing game. I say this, and then Joe Burrow could drop 35 on them, and it won't matter. But
Congratulations to Roquan Smith, by the way,
Defense.
off the ball linebacker. Thank you for leaving the Bears.
The Ravens defense is going to have to keep them in this game.
Yeah.
I don't think the offense. I don't think Tyler Huntley's good enough to really keep it going. I don't trust the receivers besides Mark Andrews. If the Ravens defense pops off, they have a chance to.
they're gonna have to
cover
manufacture. Yeah,
Right.
They're gonna have to manufacture some extra possessions somehow. Whether that's picks, fumbles, just make the game weird and try and keep it close.
I think the Bengals are an underrated Super Bowl possibility.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're paying out 7-1 right now.
Their defense is actually looked really, really good this year. The line is much improved from last year. Like, this team is better than it was last year, and they went to the Super Bowl last year. So I think we need to talk about them more in the Super Bowl conversation. It's obviously there's the three, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills.
And I love what Joe Burrow said also when he was asked about the Super Bowl window. And he's like, as long as I'm here, the window's always open. I'm like, I love that. I'm like, dude,
that's the perfect amount of cocky. That's totally respectable.
I love that. I want that. That's the type of shit that I would love to have on my team. And like, I liked him in college when he was just chilling, smoking a cigar after winning the national championship, all the way to like him saying some shit like that. That is awesome.
He's so Showtime. He's so cocky, and I love it.
Dude, it's right. There's like some people you love it on like that, and then some people you absolutely can't stand. You want to punch them in the face, Aaron Rodgers. So like, dude, like
you're not wrong. You're not gonna get disagreement from us.
No, no disagreement here.
Gentlemen, real quick, with the NFL playoffs beginning on Saturday, the NFL draft coming, just everybody make sure to go to ThirdDownThursdays.com. Check out all the incredible work that we're going to be doing over the next few months. Yes, we're going to have people at the Senior Bowl, at the draft, at the Combine, everybody doing some fantastic things across the board, not just football, but everything as well, even Jack with his motorsports that I cannot understand whatsoever. I just trust him and hit publish.
I love it. Yeah, Jack, just so you know, I got people that like sent me messages on Facebook saying how awesome your articles are about it. So
yes,
like it's been a big time hit, and I don't know if the other bigger establishments cover it as well as they should. So let's keep this shit going, boys and lady.
Yes. So Chris, thank you for filling in this evening. Zach, thank you as always. Bruce, I'm happy that you were able to make it at least for a little bit. And yeah, I believe that's all we have for Third Down Thursdays this evening. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. And as always, before we go, we need to make sure that we leave off with our favorite area insurance gentleman, Mr. Silent Card Guy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, MJ.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too. Thanks, man. Thanks.